morning and welcome back. I am finally at a point where I can start setting up my shop. It's really important to me to kind of separate my shop from the garage, so I built lighting's kind of poor, but I got the wall built, the door installed. We're all good there. I've got most of my equipment unpacked, but I don't have storage at all. I've got stuff everywhere, and it's not in a place that optimizes workflow at all. So the miter saw station is going to be kind of the first thing that I'm going to build in here to help with storage. My workbench just packed full of stuff. My old outfeed table back there, it was made to fit my old Delta table saw. Sold that. So it's like 2 or 3 inches higher than the saw stop. I could shave the legs down, but I think I'm just gonna keep that as an assembly table, put a new top on it, and build a new outfeed table. My dust processor has been taken out of the box. I do plan on doing some really nice duct work at some point, but I'm still waiting on equipment, getting more equipment. I don't want to invest in the piping before I know where I want things. So for now, I've got a 28-foot hose that I'll just have to move around as needed. So yeah, we're gonna get started. Miter saw station, kind of just got some ideas in my head. We're gonna wing it. That's kind of how I do things around here. So you know that old saying, measure twice, cut once? Yeah, in my shop it's more like measure 3 times, cut once, and then stare at it suspiciously for 20 minutes. Trust issues. I'm working with 3/4 inch plywood here, breaking it down with the track saw. This is also my first time using my new dust processor. I was quite impressed. This thing really sucked, like impressively sucked. This was also my first time using the saw stop. Huge upgrade from my old Delta table saw. But don't you worry, I still double-checked calibration because, well, I have trust issues with brand new equipment. And apparently this video is just a highlight reel of all my first times, because this was also my Capex's maiden voyage. She is fancy, just needs a permanent parking spot, which is why I'm building this miter saw station. That, and because my shop storage situation is so bad, even a squirrel would be embarrassed. Now, pocket holes. Certainly not my favorite. I treat them like junk food. Not ideal, but sometimes it's the right time and place, and in this case, it's time to put these toe kicks together. Yeah, I decided to paint the little toe kick area. I don't know if I'll paint the rest of the miter saw station or not. I'm gonna give the paint a couple hours to dry, then I'm gonna get some self-leveling feet on there and position them on the wall back there and kind of fill out where I'm gonna want the station. I will probably start on the cabinets today. It's gonna be big, but it took too long for paint to dry. I got the self-leveling feet on there. That's the wall that the miter saw station's gonna go on. That's kind of the wall that I thought it was gonna go on all along, and that's where I'm gonna want it. So I've just been playing around with the leveling feet, getting it level, though it's gonna get moved a little bit more after I get some cabinets put together, and that's fine. It will be fully adjustable after the cabinets are put on, so I can fix little leveling issues later. All right, enough of my talking head and back to breaking down plywood. Check this out. This is at least mistake number 7, but it could be as high as 10, and that is just for the day. At this point, mistakes in my shops are pretty much design features. I accept it, and I move on. My second try was a success, but boy, I need an outfeed table. I guess it's a common theme on this video, but this is the first time using the slider on the saw stop. It did take a little bit of calibration, but once I got it set up right, it was dead nuts, and I was quite impressed with it. Now, to deal with this cement foundation problem thing, I took the plywood over to the bandsaw for some consistency, and then followed up with the jigsaw. And somehow it fit like a glove. Well, maybe not a glove, more like a mitten. Still counts. Now, this part is technically a future miter saw cut. And let's be real. You're not a proper YouTuber until you have a miter saw station, which does explain why my channel gets about 3 views. Thanks, Bree. As you can see, I did decide to check the dust bag. I knew it wasn't going to be full yet, but I wanted to get a baseline, before it suddenly swells up like a piñata at a kid's birthday party and showers the shop in sawdust confetti. More pocket holes, and a lot of them. The Doritos of woodworking. Not exactly fine dining, but man, sometimes you just need that salty, guilty crunch holding 2 boards together. The moment of truth. Will the mitten fit? The tension is thicker than a shop rag soaked in glue. And yes, it slides on with the grace of a game show model revealing a brand new car. I cannot wait to have some storage. Oh man, there's just stuff everywhere. I can't find what I need because I don't know where I've stuffed it to get me by. That is not exactly where it's gonna go, but it's gonna be pretty close. Unfortunately, I've decided I'm gonna paint the 4 faces that you can actually see. I think it'll look a little better. And I do have some walnut edge banding that I'm probably going to throw on some of these. We're going to get a little paint going, and I'll probably start working on the edge banding. So I got the cabinets almost all done. I did paint the exposed sides, just 4 of the sides that you'll be able to see. I think it's going to look a lot better. I did put some walnut edge banding on, and I ran out. I was about 20 inches short. So yeah, I had to order some more. Not a big deal. I'm kind of... So yeah, I've officially staked my claim, marked the floor like a treasure map so I can actually find my way back. The first bank of cabinets is perfectly perched on the toe kicks, like they've been waiting their whole lives for this moment. That cute little iron cost about $8 from Walmart, and that is what I use for edge banding. For a little extra backbone, I did shim the cabinet to the wall and anchored it down like I was fortifying a medieval castle. My shop dog, Apollo, strolled in for an inspection. One look and he was clearly not impressed. Gave me that, "Is this the best you could do?" face. I went back to work anyway, but he just stood there, staring at me like a furry building inspector. And here's where the repetition kicks in. Drawer bottoms. These aren't just any drawer bottoms, they are going to be multitasking drawer bottoms and will also serve as the drawer slides. I cut one to use as a template so I could get the runners in place. When the sawdust finally settled, I had enough room for 20 drawers. I got into a groove and cranked out the drawers and doors like I was running a cabinet factory. The cash I saved on the drawer slides, yeah, that immediately evaporated into walnut for drawer fronts. So basically a net zero win, but hey, hopefully it'll look fancy. I milled everything down to about a ½ inch. I did get it cut to size and I felt like a pro for a hot minute. Yeah, it was another first with the new joiner. It's smooth, sharp, yellow, pretty much everything you'd expect from a Powermatic. Now, of course, I'm side-eyeing my planer, thinking about accidentally upgrading to a new 15-inch Oliver, because let's be honest, in woodworking, tools aren't purchases, they're investments in happiness. I went ahead and edge banded the cabinet doors because why not? Feels like the kind of thing that gets you extra credit. But then again, he's always watching. My extra credit might just be a failing grade. I gave the edges a little chamfer, slapped on some bargain bin Amazon drawer pulls, fit the drawer fronts up, and then fastened them with a few screws. Obviously I'm biased, but I think it looks pretty good. There is a big mistake though. Can you see it? I need to refine my tape measure skills. That pull is 1/4 of an inch off. Motivation was running on fumes, so instead of dragging out the track saw, I went the old school straight edge plus a circle saw. And you know what? It works just fine. Sometimes stubborn laziness is the mother of invention. With a nice straight reference edge, I went a little more new school and trimmed the top to size on the table saw. I did dress it up with some walnut trim. To lean into my wannabe woodworker persona, I broke out the flush cut saw and a hand plane to clean the tabletop up. Next up, a little bit of a round over, and a not so little reminder that I am officially in my 40s now. Yeah, the bald spot. Nature's way of saying you have earned this project. I grabbed the router again and made a few light passes to carve out some space for the T-track. Okay, I actually made this little piece off camera because, let's be real, at 9 minutes in, I'm probably down to 1 viewer, and that viewer is likely some guy who fell asleep with autoplay on, but hey, I did dress it up with some walnut trim because you deserve nice things. For finish, I went classic. A little oil followed by the old wax on, wax off routine. Mr. Miyagi would be proud. And finally, I have a proper home for my miter saw. Just a couple shims, a few screws, and of course, me remembering to put my mark on after the finish, like the genius I am. But hey, it is what it is. Let's have a look at it. Every YouTuber has a miter saw station, and here is mine. And because size matters, this beauty is 13 feet 3 inches long. This should solve a lot of my storage problems for now. It makes me look way more organized than I actually am, and most importantly, it brings me joy. And that is it. Bye.